Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here. It is Saturday the 7th of September. Thanks again for watching weatherweb.net. Just back from the gym, hence the reason dressed like this. It's a good job it's not smelly vision, isn't it? Just a quick apology. Some of you yesterday reported that you were getting some notifications from your antivirus saying that there was suspect Trojanware on the weather website. Well, that's because there was an attempt to hack the weather website yesterday. It was all stopped, didn't get through, there was no security breach, but everything we got in place did kick in, so that's why your antivirus software is doing what it's doing. All fixed, all clean, no problems at all, but what you may find is that if you're still being triggered with that message, again, you may need to just empty the cache of your browser. So if you go into the tools or settings on your browser and empty the cache or clear the history, that will mean that WeatherWeb can load up once again. Still got a couple of things we're going to look at just to make sure that the site is still as secure as it ever has been, and that may involve taking the site down for a couple of hours later on today or early tomorrow, but of course I will let you know of anything there. But just want to assure you the site's all clean, it's safe to use, everything's fine, the attack didn't succeed. But it just goes to show, doesn't it, that these little, well, so-and-sos are just going around attacking any site they can find. But anyway, let's get on with the weather, shall we? And this is a satellite picture from this morning. Love it when the weather plays textbook, because great example of low pressure being centred in the North Sea this morning, and that swirl of clouds you can see surrounding the low. You can see the way the winds are curling around the area of low pressure. These are the showers down to the south. You notice the lumpy nature of the clouds there, that's convective. And the flatter clouds you can see up here, this is the layered frontal cloud that's in the area of low pressure. But I just love these pictures. You can see where air is descending, where air is rising, and imagine all that compressed, and it looked very similar to a hurricane, wouldn't it? You know, those classic Catherine wheel shapes that you see. Of course it's not a hurricane. Who said that? Yeah, of course it's not a hurricane, but it's just fascinating to see the way the weather works. And you've probably seen the charts with low pressure on at the surface, but the upper air really tells the story. This is the 500 millibar chart for midday today, and you can see the centre here of the low heights and the cold pool there as well. Look, in the centre of those heights. So the low at the surface is associated with low upper levels. Also, you can see here the strongest area of the winds within this sort of zone here, where the lines are close together, and you can notice as well this kind of cold area, look, that's moving its way eastwards this afternoon, and that's just colder air aloft, and all of this is just getting mixed in constantly into this little maelstrom. But it's cut itself off now from its cold source of air, so actually it's going to be warming through over the next few days. And the ECMWF and the GFS for the next 7 to 10 days, this is from next Saturday through to Tuesday the 17th, I've got ridges, both of them here, look, building out in the Atlantic. They keep low the normal heights up towards the north of us with that ridge there, so they're strengthening the jet to the north of Scotland. Now, ECMWF wants to strengthen it to bring it into Scotland. GFS keeps it away further to the north, but they're fairly similar. I do still think that what we're going to experience really is going to be a mixed week, with most of the rain affecting more northern areas, dry to the south, and some areas, I suppose, could stay completely dry in the far south of England as the ridge builds in. And the ECMWF chart's telling a wonderful story as well. So I just wanted to show you these really, and you can really get a picture as to what the weather is doing. Most of the models are quite similar. So the setup that we've got at the moment is we have a ridge out here in the Atlantic. Now that ridge is pumping warm southwesterly winds northwards like so. Then we go into a trough, which is this feature here, and the trough then brings in, as you can see here, look, if you follow the colours there, that brings in colder air from the pole, which is feeding our upper low that we have today, which is that feature you can see there. Now 24 hours on, this is midnight tonight. Here's the ridge, look, so there's our warm southwesterly winds, okay, nudging down, look, around the trough, and notice, look, what they're trying to do, they're trying to get back in to this region here, so they're warming here. Also, the ridge is warming this section here, although we still have our cold pool there. By Monday, look, that warming effect is further north, so we're almost developing a ridge in here, a secondary ridge. Our first ridge is still out here in the Atlantic, pumping the warm air northwards. It's then bringing in less cold air into the trough here. so the air isn't as cold as it once was. Now you can kind of see what's going to happen here, because this feature here, this cold pool, is going to get cut off. And there it goes, look. So by the time we get through to midnight on Tuesday, the cold pool's cut off, it drifts away to the east. Here's our warm air, our ridge building ever further north. And here's the trough, look, still across the eastern parts of Europe. But look, notice what's going on here. Look, if we follow the lines here, yes, we've got some milder air, but it's from a colder source. And now the air goes up over a cooler Greenland, and this is cooler air coming through here. So the warm air here is never able to get as far north as it wants to, which is why the ridge can't just do that. So on Wednesday, still got our ridge, still got our warm air, look, it's pumping into the country. There's the remnants of our trough still out there, and still got our cold pool here. But the strengthening jet that's here prevents the ridge building its way northwards, basically, although there is signs of a ridge in here. By Thursday, look, still got this warm air with the trough over us towards the east. There we go. So here's the warm air, look. Here's the cooler air digging in to eastern parts of Europe, bringing the cooler air there. There's the remnants of our cold pool. And here is our jet stream that's lying there towards the south of Greenland. Now, the effect of this is by the time the ridge is over the UK is that it brings us dry conditions. But notice that the westerly winds always affect the north of Scotland. And we've got this cold north to northeasterly wind coming down the North Sea, bringing some rain towards eastern parts of the UK. On Friday, the ridge collapses out. That's because the jet is able to pull in cooler air from the northwest. So we start to see a ridge trying to build in behind the cooler air again. But here's our ridge. Look, it's had to collapse away because the cooler air is cooling it down all the time along here. And the results of that are that by Saturday, there's our jet stream down through the UK. We get a trough forming. We've got a ridge out towards the west pumping the warm air northwards again, but it can't get in because of the cold air associated with the breeze that's blowing towards the north at upper levels. That brings the jet stream through Scotland, more unsettled conditions there on Saturday. Incidentally, our cold pool is still there across Eastern Europe. And then on Sunday, because we're getting colder air pumped in all the time into this trough, the trough can sharpen, it can deepen. But there's the new ridge, look, building out towards the west. And then by Monday, so this is getting us into Monday the 16th, our new ridge is building, look, there's our trough having to clear away to the east, and we're looking again for the cut-off of the colder air. So as soon as the cold air cuts off, the bridge can build back in again. And that means that we're just not going to see much changing conditions from this westerly flow and from these mixed conditions over the next 9-10 days or so. And finally, look, there's the chart for Tuesday the 17th, for midnight on Tuesday the 17th. Here's our new ridge building in, pumping the warm air northwards all the time. There's the cooler air coming through, look. There's the trough that's been over the UK. But this ridge is trying to get back in again with that high building through. And I think what will happen is that ridge by then probably does get further north. It pops off the trough down towards the east. This low slips down the North Sea, and eventually, I think, after about the 18th or 19th, that's where we see the higher pressure building in. So I hope you find that as fascinating as I do. I know we took you through each chart there, and it was probably a little bit long-winded, but I just wanted to show you the kind of thought processes and the thinking that goes in when we look at each of these charts. So hopefully that was useful for you. Don't forget weatherweb.net is kept free of charge by the adverts you see around the screen. When you come back and use the site, it's that keeps us free of charge. So thanks for doing that. Whatever you're doing today, have a great day. I'm Simon Keeling, and keep the sun shining. Thanks for watching.